All right, while some industries are slowly starting to get back on their feet, others are doing it really tough. The tourism industry, one of the worst hit, is renewing calls for continued financial support as the government's JobKeeper scheme nears an end.
But Treasurer Josh Frydenberg has again ruled out any possibility of extending the lifeline beyond the end of March. One of those struggling business owners, Director of Sales at Sunlover Reef Cruises, Brian Hennessy, joins us now from Cairns. Brian, thank you so much for your time. We know your company's lost between 80 to 90% of its business since the pandemic began. Just explain to us how you've had to adapt.
Oh, look, it's been, we were shut down for 3 months of last year completely with no income. After that, we had to restart, and we're normally a 7-day-a-week operation, and we restarted like many businesses, operating 3 days a week. Of course, we had a bit of a lift when school holidays came around, but essentially we've had to really mothball a lot of our operations and operate 3 days a week, and that's has a big, obviously a big effect on our income and consequent employment opportunities as well. So the industry at the moment is. Sorry, Karl.
No, I was just going to say a lot of local tourism operators across the East Coast and across regional parts of Australia have been able to pivot and actually rely upon local patronage. A lot of people are travelling domestically, but Cairns is a little bit different. You can't just rely on locals, can you?
No, that's right. I mean, look, we've always had a strong domestic market, and Australians, by and large, have really supported Queensland tourism and Cairns. So we've certainly seen an uptick in domestic tourism, but that's not going to be enough to replace the international market. Cairns is a destination that is reliant on tourism, but especially reliant on international tourism. So it's been a particularly difficult time. Over 80% of all our visitors fly into Cairns, so we can't rely on the drive market that you might expect out of a place like Sydney or Melbourne or Brisbane. So it's been tough, absolutely.
So you would have really felt it, of course, when the borders shut just before Christmas. That was your peak time. But the Prime Minister's going to be making a big speech today saying we're not running a blank cheque budget. Your response to that?
Well, look, we're not after a blank cheque. What we're after is, we're coming into some of the darkest days for Cairns tourism. February, March, April and May are traditionally a quiet time. They can't shut the borders on one hand and deny us a livelihood on the other. We understand that the international borders are shut for good reason, and no one's arguing that they should be open. We just want a bit of a break, and we think it's the whole industry is a bit perplexed by the fact that they would choose an arbitrary date like the 1st of April to withdraw the support. So we're just asking for a little bit of help to get us through these dark days. And this is not help that's going to put us into profit. This is help that's going to make businesses at least get through, keep the bankers at bay, keep the landlords at bay, and give us an opportunity to be there when the international markets pick up again.
Brian, I think you'll get some help. I think Josh Frydenberg's edging closer to some sort of announcement with that. But what worries me is how long you're going to have to, you mentioned before, cotton wooling parts of your business. How long are you going to have to do that for? Because, God, when will those international borders reopen?
Well, that's the point. The 1st of April is, 8 weeks away, and we've got businesses in our region and other regions around Australia that are planning for what's going to happen from 1 April. We've got staff that are leaving the industry, good staff with great experience, great skills, and we don't want to see those people leave. The government has done a fantastic job in the last 12 months, and I think on international standards no one could complain about federal or state assistance. But we're in a situation now where we need to see the detail of any new plan, and we need to see it pretty quickly so that businesses can plan. But it's not just the business, it's the individuals working in that business. They need to provide for their families and so on. And at the moment there's a lot of people leaving the industry because they just don't, they're just not confident about what's going to happen. And so, it's the deadline is coming around very, very quickly, and I've seen the Treasurer talking about possible assistance. Well, Well, that's great. We certainly welcome that, but can we get the detail yesterday?
And also, obviously, when you've got the money drying up in some industries up there, the flow-on effects of that have impacts on other businesses, and it's a big vicious cycle. Brian, really good to talk to you today, and we'll talk to you very soon again. Appreciate
Thanks,
your time.
Brian.